stop what you're doing now, go over their comment, and make sure you let them know to make this figure taller. What a time to be alive. We are getting some amazing reveals back to back. We've got Storm Arena with their Street Fighter Alpha 3 line. Now we've got Hasbro with their Gamerverse fall catalog. Probably next year we're going to have the spring and summer releases of the Marvel's Gamerverse bundles. And then now we've got Tamashii Nations with their Gamersverse Cyclops. It looks like Tamashii Nations and Hasbro's, they're going to be listing these figures under the umbrella of Gamersverse to steer clear of being specific to an IP such as X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 or 2, and then of course X-Men vs. Street Fighter. They're steering clear from that. Having this umbrella, I think it kind of makes it better because we know not to expect figures to come from one particular IP. It could span across all of those IPs, which I think in total there's about 4 or 5 different games to choose from, which is awesome. But with this being Tamashii Nations SJ's Figuarts, it's not without its controversy, or it's not without its people being skeptic, you know. So I'm not sure what the correct word for that is, but anyways, so yeah, so people are skeptic because the height of the figure, which we are going to cover in just a moment. But right now, this is the official listing for this product. Again, you can see it's under the Gamersverse umbrella there. And then this is a Marvel IP after all. So when you look at the 9,900 yen, which is equivalent to, you know, 67, or let's go ahead and round that up to $70, you may think to yourself, well, the better value would probably be to go with Hasbro's because you're getting 2 figures essentially for the same price. However, with this Cyclops, there are some things to be excited for that make up for that price, and we're going to be looking into that. However, there's one major caveat to all of that, and that is going to be the height of the figure. This is something that has a lot of people skeptical and fearing for this release. This figure is coming in at 145 millimeters, which apparently is 5 millimeters shorter than their Street Fighter Ryu figure, which is crazy. You know, obviously with the scaling of the imports and Tamashii Nations, they're known for having smaller figures, but they're also known for releasing taller figures as well that aren't short. So let's go ahead and look at some direct comparisons here. As you can see with Mafex, and there has been comparisons with Mafex, some even believe Tamashii Nations Cyclops looks better than Mafex. You know, that's up for everyone's interpretation. But as you can see, the brown suit Wolverine is at 140. I'm guessing that's 148 millimeters. I'm not sure exactly, but the Wolverine is even taller than the Tamashii Nation Cyclops. So right now we've got a pretty much heavy campaign on the official posting that does have 33,000 likes, by the way, which is absolutely crazy. Just when I thought I was going to close the door on SH Figuarts, they dropped this, and now I'm very excited. You know, I was at work yesterday showing people this post who don't even care about this stuff. That's how excited I was. I was like, almost had like a heart attack because I was just so shocked. I was shocked we're getting a SH Figuarts Cyclops, and it does look good. But yeah, here on Tamashii Nation's official posting, you know, people are commenting. A lot of people are commenting. As you can see, what a time to be alive. And the biggest concern is going to be the size of the figure, and there's really no one complaining about it except for we have Wing Collectors here. This post has 115 likes, pretty much saying to please adjust the height of this figure of the character, because Cyclops, he's about 6'1", so as you can see here, like, he's tall, and this figure here is going to be very short. So Tamashii Nations, they really could make the adjustments, because look at this next post here. You can see this was their ace and how tall it was. So I think if a lot of people rush now and go and comment, here, let's do it. Please make taller. Oh, hold on. I think if a lot of people go and comment, you know, please make taller or what have you, adjust the height, Tamashii Nations hopefully will hear that. I don't think they're known for that. I've never seen them being known for that, and I've been reviewing them for years now. But, you know, hopefully if a lot of people bring this to their attention, they will make the adjustments. So yeah, stop what you're doing now, go over their comment, and make sure you let them know to make this figure taller, because that would be great for the fans. And, you know, it would be great for Tamashii Nations too. We want that first release to be an absolute bombshell. And I gotta be honest with you, when I first started collecting back in 2020, before the YouTube channel, before all of this amazing content and things like that, it all started with the Mezco Cyclops. For me, Cyclops, my favorite X-Men, my go-to. So I hope Tamashii Nations does this figure justice, and I hope a lot of people are going to be pleased. But as I say that, there are some things to, you know, take into consideration. Now, if you go over to, for an example, this is Children of the Atom, you can see that we're getting a darker metallic blue. The same here as well for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. However, for Tamashii Nations, it looks like, oh, I didn't expect them to do that. There we go. It looks like for Tamashii Nations, they are going with a more metallic. It looks very similar to the Mofex in that regard, but I would say it needs to be a much darker blue, like a navy blue. Let it pop a little bit. And I think there are people already making adjustments now. Let's go and see this real quick. There we go. So yeah, people are already starting to make adjustments. It really should be this darker blue, again, as you can see here. But as I mentioned, with Hasbros, and now even probably more so Tamashii Nations, these figures are inspired by those games, which helps them get away with making it being a different color palette and things like that, because it's under the Gamerverse umbrella as opposed to being under specifically Children of the Atom or Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So I think that's why we're getting this lighter shade of the blue. And yeah, so that's that. But let's go ahead and take a closer look at the figure. The one thing that is a red flag for me is going to be these joints right here. As we go through the photos, you'll see what I mean. And I'm curious, are the hands going to be like a rubberish feel or what? Because they obviously are going to be big, and I think that's to help with putting the hand onto the peg. Maybe it makes it a better transition. You can see here how you've got the line right here where the joint is, and then how big the hands are. I'm not sure what's going on there. I feel like it could be a little bit more redefined or just look better engineered wise. Still looks good. This is a really great shot here. Really enjoying this, and it looks like it's going to be a new sculpt. You're going to be getting all the bells and whistles. You can see here you got your toe hinge here, double jointed knees. Again, you can see that joint there. I'm not sure how I feel about it. The knees look good. Yeah, the belt looks good. I'm really enjoying the belt here all the way through. This kind of looks weird right here at this piece, so I wonder how that's going to look. Does that mean, you know, if I bring this leg up, is this yellow piece right here going to fall around with it? It looks like it's going to, because on this part right here you can see that. And then, you know, yeah, up here at the top looks good. This effect, for me, it kind of shocked me because it looks like we're getting like a violet color similar to that, as opposed to like a red, you know. But again, we're going off of the Gamerverse IP there. It looks really good. The figure looks good. The muscle definition, it could be more expressed, I would say. You know, going back over to, you know, this post here, this image here, you can see he is very muscular. And Tamashii Nations, yeah, it looks good, but I feel like it could be more for the muscular structure of the figure. I bet you if Storm Arena got on to the Gamerverse from Marvel, it would be absolutely over. If Storm was able to make these Marvel figures, you'd only buy Storm. I promise you that. But yeah, and it looks like we're going to be getting this optic blast here in the back, which is pretty cool. I'm curious to see how the packaging is going to look and things like that, because, you know, they just released they have their Tekken line, and their Tekken line and even their Street Fighter line, they include the backdrops of like the stage arena. But when you put all of that into the Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts packaging, it kind of gets like cramped up and things like that. So although it does look nice and pristine here, more than likely once we get the figure in hand, depending on how you remove the figure, it could be more damaged, if that makes sense, or it could be crinkled or wrinkled or anything like that. So curious to see how this is going to work. More than likely it is a cardboard and not like a plastic, which is fine. But yeah, so that's that. And then, you know, we are getting multiple face expressions. We're going to be getting like his visor, like he just uses powers and things like that. And you can see again the muscle structure. I think it could have been a little bit better, but you know, it looks good. And we don't have any poses with him looking directly at us, so I'm you know, wanting to see how it looks with Cyclops looking directly at us for the promotional images. But yeah, and then this is a very iconic move. This is actually going to be from Children of the Atom. I'm not sure if this is in Marvel vs. Capcom, but yeah, very iconic move for this character. And if you've seen or picked up or reviewed or, you know, played with the Deadpool versus Wolverine figures, then you kind of have an idea what you're going to be getting, especially like with this thong piece that they have here in the center. I know a lot of people really don't enjoy that. I guess it does add, you know, some type of flavor to the release and overall the stylization from Tamashii Nations, but you know, it is what it is at this point. We'll just have to wait and get this figure in hand. There are some figures and some companies where, yeah, you need to wait until you get the figure in hand. Like Storm Arena, you don't need to worry about that. Like what you see, pretty much for the most part, is what you're going to get. Tamashii Nations is going to be a different story. Obviously, the first thing going to be the height of the figure. That's already the one thing people are waiting for to get in hand. So we have to wait and see how it all shakes down. Overall, I'm very excited for this release. I can't believe we got it. It looks good. And then as far as who could be the next potential reveal, I think they can go two ways about this. Tamashii Nations could give us a Psylocke. We have the Psylocke that is with the Thanos 2-pack from Hash Bros that sold out instantly. Target exclusive, sold out instantly. You went from having to pay $60 to now $100 on eBay to get it from Taiwan. So I think they could capitalize on that and give us a Psylocke. You know, Psylocke from Tamashii Nations, who they are experts when it comes to that anime stylization. I feel like they would absolutely do a great job with Psylocke. So that's one potential. And then another potential would be a Hulk. You know, we got the Maximum Series Hulk that is $60. You know, maybe Tamashii Nations could release this as a $70 figure, and it would be a lot better than what we got with the Maximum Series Hulk from Hasbro. So those would be like my two number ones that I think they should do. But more than likely, I could see Wolverine being the next one, and then I could also see potentially Spider-Man or maybe even Captain America being the next one as well. Those would be like my top picks. So of the 5 figures, if I had to choose right now, or 5 characters that they should reveal, it would be number 1 Psylocke, then the Hulk, then Wolverine, Spider-Man, and then Captain America. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And for all of you out there who are pressed on companies finishing a roster, do not hold your breath with Tamashii Nations, because you know, there's a lot of characters here, and the likelihood of Tamashii Nations going through and doing all of these characters, the whole roster for the Marvel side of things, is unlikely. But if it happens, hey, even better. And with that being said, Tamashii Nations, please give us a Jill Valentine. We need Jill Valentine. That's probably the only character I would say from this whole entire roster that would have the most struggle or most challenge being made from an officially licensed company. So yeah. Thank you all for watching. I hope you're very excited. I know I am. I know a lot of people are as well. 33,000 likes on that one post is massive. So hopefully they make the appropriate adjustments. Make sure you go and comment to adjust the height for this character, for this figure. And yeah, we've got some things to look forward to this Thanksgiving. So thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day. Stay tuned. More to come. Until then, peace.